Hey friends, it's Jordan at the Music Zoo here. I want to take a quick break today from talking about all those crazy expensive guitars we're usually talking about to talk about the Yamaha Pacifica PAC012 and what it means to find the first beginner electric guitar that's right for you. All right, so let's get into it. We have a lot to talk about today. But first, before we start to talk about this Yamaha specifically, I want to talk about what I think makes an excellent beginner's guitar for electrics. It has to be comfortable, it has to be lightweight, it has to be something that you're going to be excited to play every day. I started playing guitar in 1999, and let me tell you something, kids. 25 years ago, it was pretty hard to find something like this back then, but luckily I made do, and now I'm here talking to you. So how does this Pacifica PAC012 qualify into all those things that I just mentioned? Well, let's first talk about the shape. To the beginner, it probably looks like a Strat or an S-style guitar, but it's a little bit more modern. There's this really nice arm cutaway right here, so your arm sits really nice and comfortable. The lines are a little bit more modern. They're a little bit sharper than a Squier or Fender Strat. The back of the body is pretty similar, has this contour to it, so it fits against your belly, like so. The neck on this one is maple. It's a bolt-on construction, just like a lot of other electric guitars. It's a really nice, slim C shape. So if you're a beginner guitar, that means there isn't something like, there are different profiles out there. There's big chunky guys like you would see in the 1950s. There are V shapes. There are really slim ones that can be uncomfortable. This is a pretty good happy medium, I would say. I think the neck is where it really counts on a beginner guitar, and how it feels is going to make you want to keep picking the guitar up. Sometimes a lesser expensive guitar, the fretwork isn't too good. When you start to go like this, you start to feel the edges of the frets kind of sprout out, and that could happen in weather changes, but right out of the box, you want a guitar that's nice and comfortable, and the PAC012 always has that. I find that they're pretty consistent when we get them here at Music Zoo, and they just feel great. Let's talk about some more technical specs on the PAC012 that if you're a beginner, you might not understand why it's relevant, but let's just go through it anyway. What are the body woods used? This is an agathis body. It's a maple neck. Millions of guitars out there have maple necks. That's a common wood. And it's a Sonnekeling fretboard. I may or may not have said that the right way, but it's not a very common fretboard wood. It is often used like with agathis as a combination to make it a pretty affordable price point for the guitar. It kind of looks like rosewood. It's a little bit lighter, but you know, gets the job done. The pickups on the PAC are 2 single coil pickups and a Yamaha humbucker right there. On this model, they're all mounted within this pickguard with a 5-way switch, which gets you 5 different sound combinations with these pickups. There's a tremolo bridge with a tremolo bar included in the box with the guitar if you want to do tremolo tricks, master volume and tone, output jack, and 6 die-cast tuners. It's all pretty much standard hardware. There's really not a lot of flash to this guitar, but it's still really fun. Anyone that likes punk, hardcore, alternative music, and they want a humbucker in their guitar to play with distortion, this is a guitar for you. If you were just playing cleans, a guitar with 3 single coils would do it. But from here, let's talk about 2 more options that are under 500 bucks that could be the one for you. So here we have the next level up from the PAC012, the 112 or the 112, and this really nice green finish. So kind of looks like the PAC012, but once you start picking it up and you start playing with it, you realize that there's a couple key differences that kind of get you into a more traditional construction of an electric guitar. Still has a solid finish, still has a maple neck, but now you have an alder body and a rosewood fretboard. The alder body and the rosewood board of the 112 are just like the tone woods you find on higher end Pacificas, like the Standard Plus or the Professional series that are made in Japan. They're more of like the brand name tone woods that you'd find on other electric guitars. Not that there's anything wrong with the previous ones, but it's definitely a lower end wood, and you get a little bit more tone, and you just have a nicer look on this rosewood board than the one on the previous model. It's just a more traditional look. It's a little bit more fun to play on, I'm not gonna lie. Same profile to the maple neck, though I think there's a little bit more finish on this one. It feels just a little bit more well-made. And so if you're a player who has maybe a couple extra bucks to spare, or you just want to start at a medium price point, the 112 is a really good choice. The pickups here, as you can see, you're gonna have a little bit of a different layout. It's a humbucker, the Alnico V humbucker mounted with a bridge pickup, which is kind of helpful if you're starting to mod your guitars. You can easily swap this pickup out. You still have two Alnico V single coils and a 5-way switch, but right here, this tone knob, you can pull it up, and that's going to split this humbucker to give you a single coil tone, but just like these pickups, but you can use it individually from the other ones. It's just even more tones to have. It's a little bit more fun to play. So there you have it. The hardware on the 112 is a little bit nicer than the 012. You have the same thing, a vintage tremolo, but the block saddles on here are a little bit smoother to the touch when you're playing and you're palm muting, you're getting into that. They're a little easier on your hand. They're not as rough feeling, and they kind of look a little bit nicer to me personally. You have these really nice knurled metal knobs that look a little more high-end than the plastic ones on the 012, and their tuners are definitely an upgrade for sure. So you like all the features of the 112, but you want a little bit more luxury, a little bit more of an exotic look to it, you should try this one, the 212VQM, QM standing for quilt maple, which uses a really nice quilt maple veneer over the alder body. Just gives it a nice exotic wood figured look. All the other features stay the same, the hardware, the pickups, the cool push-pull to split that humbucker. They're all still there, but you get a couple more colors. They're all transparent, so you can see the figured wood shine through. I know we've been talking about how these fit into the life of a beginner guitar player, but honestly, I think if you're a semi-pro to intermediate level guitarist and you need a cool S style as a backup guitar, or just a thing to bring to the gig that you're not going to be too worried about thrashing around on stage with, they're super versatile, really fun to play. If someone handed me a 112 to play a gig with, I would not be mad at it for certain. I would start from there. Would I bring an 012 to a gig? Probably not, because I'd want the upgrades of the tuners and the bridge and the feel of a little bit more quality to it. But there you go, take for that what you will. All right, so now let's hear these guitars in action. And I thought it would be appropriate to use something that you might have at your house for an amp. So today we're gonna hear these Pacificas through a Fender Mustang amp. So there you have it, 3 excellent Yamaha Pacificas under 500 bucks that I think for the holiday season, it would be a great gift for yourself, for a loved one, for your friends, for your family, whoever is interested in trying to pick up the first electric guitar. This could be the one for you. Shop a ton of colors. All our different Pacificas are available at themusiczoo.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.